same thing over and over again.
Okay, go.
So let's say I do that anyway. Okay, good evening. My name is Patty Stokes. I'm the publisher and editor of the Northwest Observer. Thank you very much for being here for our Oak Ridge Town Council Candidates Forum. Tonight we're doing something for the very first time. We've not only invited you to be here to meet your candidate for Town Council in person, we're also videoing the forum, and it will be on our website at www.nwobserver.com as of next Monday, so the last week before the election. So for those of you who are here, if it's just so exciting you want to watch it again, you get to do that. If your spouses or friends or family members or others that you know couldn't be here but you think they might be interested, please make sure that you let them know that it will be online. I will be introducing you to the candidates in just a minute, but before I do, I'm going to introduce you to my co-workers. Some of these people I feel like I live with. I see more than my family members. My partner in crime and one of my long-term friends, Sandra Smith. She is the managing editor of the Northwest Observer. And Eric Spencer. Eric, stand up so everybody can see you. There you go. He's one of our staff writers. And Eric has started covering the Oak Ridge Town Council candidate, the Town Council for me, as I'm getting too old and have to retire from some of these things. Yvonne Truhan, my truly versatile graphic artist, who not only lays out our paper every week, does some ad design for us, but she's also our videographer this evening.
Okay, so you're not going to see me.
No, you'll see her backside this evening. And now, before I introduce you to the candidates, I have to remember we're on video. Before I introduce you to the candidates, I'm going to explain how the format is going to go. This evening, we'll begin by giving each of the candidates 3 minutes to introduce themselves, and this is what I call freestyle. They get to say whatever they want. I'm assuming they're going to tell you why they think they're qualified to represent you on the Oak Ridge Town Council. After which we'll start alternating questions. Rarely will you see me ask the same question and go down the line. Most of the time I'm going to ask one question to a candidate and then I'll go to another candidate and ask a different question. Prior to this evening, you, as I'm assuming Oak Ridge residents and neighbors, were invited to submit questions as well. Some of you did. Some of you may have questions that come up this evening that you would like to ask. In which case, if you would, Sandra, do we have those in the back as well?
Yes, there are also cards and pencils on the back table, and I have some here as well.
Okay, so feel free to write those down. Now, since we have exhausted our staff this evening, we're going to ask one thing. If you do have a question you would like it asked, please walk that up to Sandra. Sometimes we have a volunteer who will come around and get them from you, but if you'll just walk it up here, then she will do her best to integrate those with the questions that we've already planned. We probably won't get to all the questions this evening. We're going to try to keep the candidate forum to between an hour and 15 minutes. The candidates most of the time will have a minute and a half to answer their questions, and I'll let them know ahead of time. At the end, they have 2 minutes to wrap up. They also have been given an opportunity to come up with a question that they want to ask of other candidates. So at some point, I'll invite them to do that. And they each have, this year for the first time, a rebuttal card. They have one opportunity to either rebut something that someone else has said, or they may want to elaborate on something another candidate has said. It is their opportunity to do that, and once they've used their rebuttal card, then that's it. Okay. I've gone over this with the candidates, and they don't have any questions. Do any of you have any questions? Okay. Chosen by your fellow residents to serve, and I truly do know, without having been in your seat, I have some idea, at least, of how difficult of a position it is. I've watched town council members anguish over their decisions. They're certainly not always easy ones. So I personally thank you, and I know that most, if not all, the people in your town thank you for making yourself available. At this time, I'd like to begin with the candidate introductions. And Tony, I'm going to start with you, and this time we are going to work our way down. And you will have up to 3 minutes, and you know that as you start to come to that 3-minute time limit, Eric will let you know.
Okay.
Well, good evening, I'm Tony Kohler, and I'm running for town council because I want to continue to serve and support this community that I'm a part of. I have a long history of volunteerism and public service, from being a Brownie troop leader to the vice president of the Oak Ridge Lions Club when we were first here, to more recently acting as the co-chair of the anniversary committee along with Jamie Yanis. I've been a part of the development of the park over the last 4 years, working on the committee with Karen Dodd from the beginning through to the current Parks and Recreation Commission group. Professionally, my background is in advertising and marketing. I have managed advertising for Walt Disney World, Greater Fort Lauderdale, and currently the Better Homes and Gardens and Quality Furniture Collections at an agency here in the Triad called Wildfire. My husband, Stephen, who's also very involved in volunteerism for the town, and we live in the historic district of the town, and so we were drawn here because of the area's unique charm and historic roots. We found people to be very warm and welcoming, and we wanted to be a part of that and give back to that. Personally, I try to emulate Tom and Karen Brown. They were one of the first people that really welcomed us to the town, and they're pretty much my inspiration going forward. I just hope that I can live up to the type of service and memory that they were a big part of this town as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Dan?
Good evening. My name is Dan Yanis. I've been an Oak Ridge resident for going on about 23 years now. 32 years ago, I met and married Linda, who's sitting right next to me, Kinman out there in the audience. We settled in a small town called St. James, Long Island, that had many of the same characteristics as Oak Ridge does today. At the time, we knew nothing about Oak Ridge, and we came down to North Carolina as part of a job transfer for a company that I worked for. And we had the opportunity to search throughout all parts of Guilford County, looking for a place to settle down here. We checked out many communities, and having 2 young children at the time, the most important thing to us was the quality of the school that our children would be placed in. And we walked into Oak Ridge Elementary School, which is nothing like what it looks today. Had just a few small classrooms, a charming atmosphere, and like Tony, I think Carolyn Brown was the very first resident of Oak Ridge I had an opportunity to meet and speak with, and she set a fine example for the community. And between her attitude towards her job and children in the school and all the people we met, we decided that Oak Ridge would be a place that we would settle down. The other thing you might know us for is Linda and I walk our dogs up and down Highway 150 with backpacks on. So if you ever see crazy people with 2 dogs with backpacks, that's us going up and down the road. We came down here cold turkey, knowing no one in the neighborhood. We joined some supper clubs, we joined the local church, all in an effort to get involved in the community, meet some people. And as the town was being formulated a little more than 10 years ago, I took a personal interest in just seeing what was going on, because I got a little bit of a taste of that before we moved down here from St. James. The qualifications that I believe I had for running for town council is the fact that for the past 22 years I've been deeply involved in the community. I am the current president of the Oak Ridge Lions Club, which is part of the largest service organization in the world. I currently sit as an alternate to the town board of adjustments for Oak Ridge. I've also served as chairman of the town hall building committee, and with several other dedicated individuals and committee members, we pulled together all the resources necessary to build a facility that you're sitting in right now to run the business of the community on behalf of the community. And most recently, I've served as chairman of the town's 10th anniversary committee. With the help of others, we were able to bring you what we thought was a pretty first-rate celebration. We had worked with Parks and Recreation and the Park Opening Committee to provide a terrific grand opening that culminated with some incredible fireworks for the day. I'm running to have a strong belief in family, friends, and community, and I believe that I have the opportunity to continue to make Oak Ridge a better place for all its citizens, and I'd like a consideration on Election Day to remind all of you to get out and vote on November 3rd.
Thank you very much, Liz. I'm Liz Tice. I'm a realtor in Oak Ridge at Habitat Realtors. I have listed and sold many beautiful homes in this community in my 29 years as a real estate professional. My daddy graduated from Oak Ridge Military Institute in 1926.